My 26F partner was caught secretly giving out her number without telling me. 24M. What's next? This narrative unfolds about a month ago. My girlfriend, 26 years old, and I, 24 years old, have what I consider a loving relationship. However, one night, a nagging intuition compelled me to review her phone. She has never hidden her phone from me and has encouraged me to check it whenever I desire, yet I am not that type of person. Her reassurance was comforting. Our schedules are quite different, so we only see each other once a week or for a few short hours over the weekend. I wake up early for work, while she tends to stay up late. One morning, even though I had never thought about it before or wanted to, I felt compelled to look through her phone while she was asleep, expecting to find nothing but hoping to soothe my uneasy feelings. I glanced through the usual items: photos, Snapchat, and a few other apps. I concluded my mediocre search, assuming it would yield no results. But then I discovered absolutely nothing. I thought I had found nothing until I stumbled upon the recently deleted texts. Upon seeing the considerable amount of spam present, it seemed she must have forgotten about this feature. I did a light scroll and noticed several area codes, but they all appeared to be spam messages. Just as I was about to exit, something caught my eye. It was a message thread from a number local to my area with about 20 messages exchanged. Side note: for those unfamiliar with Android, on Apple iMessage, when texts are deleted, they go into the Recently Deleted tab in case you want to recover them, displaying only the phone number and the quantity of exchanged messages. My curiosity got the best of me, and I recuperated the messages between someone I will refer to as DJ and my girlfriend. I approached this with a clear mind, yet after reading the texts, it left me feeling quite strange. The initial message asked if she was still at a specific kava bar. Side note: my girlfriend can be sociable, but she has experienced betrayal in her past, including infidelity. For the purpose of this narrative, you must trust that I am a good guy, as this is my account. This kava bar was a place she visited for a girls' night out where she met a friend. My girlfriend responded, indicating she had already left. DJ replied, expressing disappointment, stating he was rolling a joint and wanted to share it with her. The messages were brief, but carried an air of flirtation. It appeared that DJ was definitely attempting to maintain contact. She was responding to him, but the conversation seemed to taper off once she returned home for the night. A few thoughts raced through my mind as I stood on uncertain ground. 1. Had he contacted her previously, as who initiates a conversation by asking if someone has left yet? 2. Is my girlfriend being unfaithful to me? 3. Why didn't she mention this to me? I left the recovered texts as I planned to confront her about this discovery. A few days later, she was preparing to go out with a female friend. I felt secure enough to let her go, knowing I trusted the person accompanying her. I jokingly said, "Oh haha, you would never cheat on me. Let's check your phone." While not the exact wording, it was indeed in that spirit, making it seem innocent enough. My girlfriend opened iMessage, and as I scrolled down, I saw it DJ. I clicked on it and asked, "What's this?" Her demeanor changed from playful to somewhat subdued. I interpreted her silence as a reaction of either, "Oh no, I thought I deleted that," or "I didn't want him to discover this." She claimed that DJ was a guy she met at her bar. Side note: for context, she works as a bartender and has many regular customers, so it's not entirely strange that someone had her number. My girlfriend mentioned that she had already informed me about this encounter, and after reflecting, I vaguely recalled her saying that she and her friend had interacted with a DJ at the bar who shared similar tastes in house dance music. However, she never explicitly told me she willingly gave him her number. That detail was clearly left out. She defended herself by arguing that the messages were innocent, but in truth, it didn't feel that way to me. I expressed my feelings, admitting I felt somewhat uneasy and betrayed, as withholding such significant information is, in essence, a form of deception. She apologized, insisting she had no malicious intent, prompting me to do what most would in a relationship nearing 3 years. I chose to extend her trust despite the breach and shared my thoughts, hoping to move forward. She assured me I could review her phone and that she wasn't attempting to hide anything, and unfortunately, I accepted this answer without questioning why she had deleted those texts. She went out that night, and the following morning I went to work, believing everything was fine. However, I was not fine. I began feeling anxious and unsettled with numerous lingering questions as my mind struggled to draw conclusions in the gaps, which is never a good sign. The next morning, even though it may have violated her trust, I went through her phone again and found absolutely nothing. Strangely, this seemed like positive news. When the following night arrived, I searched her phone once more. I uncovered further details about her night at the Kava bar. 1. Given all the surrounding evidence, she must have gone to see DJ, despite her claims that she only attended due to plans made with her friend. However, upon writing this now, I can recall her mentioning this quite frequently. 2. Moreover, unbeknownst to me, one of my girlfriend's friends was also DJing at the event. While the new revelations raised more questions, nothing appeared overly alarming. On the third and final night of checking her phone, I found, once again, nothing. However, I was left with extra questions than answers and believed the truth would eventually reveal itself in time. This turned out to be my last opportunity to search her phone. As I walked from the bathroom with the intention of returning it to her bedside, I noticed she was awake. I thought to myself, well, this is not a good look. She chastised me, saying, "Is this going to become a nightly occurrence?" Wait, let's rewind a bit. While I didn't discover much on that third night, there was one detail that did catch my attention. I noticed she had deleted a message from DJ, in which he appeared to be trying to initiate contact. It looked like she ignored it, and then deleted it. I also observed that the notifications from his number were configured to hide alerts. Before exiting the bathroom, I blocked his number and redacted the text to avoid any suspicion that I had checked her phone. At that point, she was clearly looking at me with disappointment, and I acknowledged it was a breach of trust on my part. I had messed up. Nonetheless, it felt as if I was the one at fault, leading to an upset girlfriend. I expressed my remorse, explaining that what I had done was wrong, insisting my only motivation was to alleviate my anxiety. This was indeed true. She expressed that she needed time to forgive me, and I accepted that. I had to leave for work, but I turned back, unwilling to let this end on a negative note. I sought answers, regretting not asking more, but uncertainty lingered. Here are my questions. Question 1. Who is DJ and what's his name? Answer: I have no idea. I don't even know his name, and I swear I never asked or learned. Analyzing this helps me realize that, in that heated moment, I couldn't comprehend why those texts existed without any mention of a name or anything. It felt bizarre. Nonetheless, now, in a vulnerable position, I chose to trust her, even after she had just broken my trust. Question 2. Why didn't you inform me that your ex was DJing at that event? Answer: she defensively stated that she didn't want me to react negatively and panic. Question 3. Why were his deleted texts set to hide alerts? Answer: she claimed it was to avoid spam, but DJ never texted her that much. Side note: for context, the hide alerts feature on iMessage, when activated for specific numbers, prevents notifications from appearing on the home screen or while using the phone. The only way to know if someone with hide alerts has messaged you is to open the iMessage app and check yourself. Now, you might be thinking this resembles a poorly scripted sitcom, given that the obvious answer is to suspect DJ could be her ex. However, I do not believe that to be the case. While snooping, I had seen a message between my girlfriend and the friend she was meeting at the Kava bar. In the exchange, my girlfriend mentioned that her ex had gone on stage, and she had been trying to remain unnoticed since the event turned out to be dull. Another clue came from a text between DJ and my girlfriend, where he seemed to be trying to get to know her better. This particular ex had dated her for about 2 years, but I honestly cannot confirm anything. Those answers somewhat reassured me, and we appeared to be okay as a couple. Despite some minor issues, she hadn't changed drastically. She wasn't acting secretively, at least not beyond this matter. I continued to ponder the questions that plagued my mind, and here they are for the public to consider. Question 1. Were those the only exchanges between you two? Question 2. Was DJ the only guy whose number you shared without informing me? Question 3. What would have occurred if I hadn't discovered these messages? Additionally, there were a few other miscellaneous questions regarding any other details she may have omitted. 2 weeks have passed, and she seems very much in love with me, frequently initiating kisses, hugs, and being open about matters she doesn't need to share. making plans to spend time together without waiting for me to suggest them. Whenever I create plans, she is eager to participate and shows genuine interest. The only area that seems to have faltered, and this had been the case even before these events transpired, is our sex life, which I would describe as lackluster. I've shared my concerns about it with her, and while she seems to understand, nothing changes. We might have intercourse once, and then a month would pass with me attempting to initiate intimacy, but I've consistently faced refusals, coupled with basic excuses. She feelings of guilt when I mention my concerns, indicating it makes her feel bad for not granting me affection. I do not want her to feel this way, but I genuinely need to know what has shifted. The same scenarios that once sparked our desire no longer work, which feels unusual and makes me feel somewhat unwanted, despite the great state of our relationship otherwise. I believe in having a gratifying sex life, but I don't want her to experience guilt. Therefore, readers of Reddit, this is my current situation. I welcome any pointers, advice, or tips on what steps to take next. If I must, I will address the DJ issue once more, but I worry that doing so might jeopardize our relationship, and I don't want her to think I am holding on to resentment. Thank you. Mystery. Story 2. I, 27F, crashed over my boyfriend, 24M, liking his ex's situationships Instagram photo. TLDR. I confronted my boyfriend, with whom I have been in a relationship for 1.5 years and live with, about liking an Instagram photo of his ex-situationship, especially after I had previously expressed my concerns regarding his lingering feelings for her. For my own peace of mind, and perhaps due to my past trauma, I requested that he unfollow her. Here's a bit of background. I am currently in a relationship with my best friend's brother. We have been together for about 1.5 years, and we have lived together for the last 7 months. He is genuinely the nicest and most emotionally intelligent man I have ever dated. A few months into our relationship, we began to have open dialogues about our past serious relationships and how they unfolded. He has experienced about 2 serious relationships, similar to myself. However, the difference is that in my previous relationship, I was cheated on multiple times. I have had to be completely honest with him about my triggers, especially since living together means I cannot process my emotions privately. He has witnessed my emotional struggles firsthand. When I say moments, I mean that I instinctively become defensive if I sense anything is amiss and can become quite heated when discussing it. In my past, I always felt the need to be hyper-aware of any signs of infidelity or suspicious behavior. I would obsessively monitor social media and look for any odd actions, constantly noticing my ex's gaze wandering toward other women. Since being with my current boyfriend, I have worked hard to change this defensive mindset. I know that I am safe with him, yet I am still healing and growing. To get to the main point, when we talk about our exes, we mostly discuss our more toxic relationships and bond over the traumatic experiences we've endured. While he hasn't specifically dealt with infidelity, he has had his share of crazy experiences. As for situationships, I have been in several that never led to anything significant between my previous partners, but I never discuss them with the same frequency that my boyfriend talks about his past. Let's refer to this girl as Kiwi. Kiwi is someone my boyfriend met approximately 4 years ago, before his most recent ex. He claims they had a short 6-month period of talking, but never officially dated. He has often mentioned having a serious crush on Kiwi and believes that nothing ever came of it because she lived in Boston and intended to eventually move to New York City, while we are situated in the Midwest. She looks remarkably like Zendaya and is a successful model. Truly, she is stunning. His preferences vary, but he typically likes tall and slim women, which I just happen to fit. I initially had no issue with him mentioning her until I overheard him talking to his friends, saying that if only she hadn't wanted to move to New York. I brushed this off at first, but it later became more troubling. My boyfriend and I frequently discuss baby names because we both genuinely want children. During one of these conversations, he mentioned that if we have a daughter, he would love to name her Kiwi. Instantly, I thought to myself, absolutely not. I told him, wait, isn't that your ex's name? He replied that she wasn't really his ex as they just kind of dated, but he thought the name Kiwi was pretty. I responded that while that might be true, perhaps we could consider another name that he might like just as much. We then moved on from that subject. However, Kiwi started occupying my thoughts. The way he spoke about her felt distinctly different from how he talked about his other ex-partners. His previous relationships seemed to have concluded in a more definitive manner, unlike his connection with Kiwi, which lacked closure aside from her living far away. Naturally, I began to look at her Instagram since he still follows her. I noticed that Kiwi was in a relationship, and he had not liked any of her pictures since they were talking 4 years ago. That was fine. But then, about 2 months ago, I realized she had deleted posts featuring her partner and now seemed to be single. Let's skip ahead to about a month ago. During a dinner with his mother and his sister, who is my best friend, we started discussing exes and how terrible they can be. In that moment, I was anxiously waiting for my boyfriend to mention Kiwi, and then it happened. He stated that, I guess, his only relatively good fling was with Kiwi, if only she hadn't wanted to move to New York. I couldn't hold back and confronted him at the table, asking why he continually brings up Kiwi. He appeared confused and insisted he doesn't, becoming visibly flustered. His mother recognized the name immediately, and his sister also knew who she was. I thought to myself that, for a situationship, it seemed he had strong feelings for her if his family knew exactly who she was. Once we got home, I apologized for my outburst at the dinner table, realizing that it was inappropriate. I then asked him gently if he still had feelings for Kiwi or if he viewed her as the one who got away. He told me he didn't believe in that notion, explaining that if it was meant to be with her, it would have happened. He reassured me that he is much happier with me, appreciates how closely our interests align, and loves living together. I thought we had put the issue to rest, but I decided to check her Instagram again. I noticed she had posted a mirror selfie for the first time in almost 2 years, and still, there was no like from him after our previous conversation. Fast forward to last week. I had a dream featuring a girl who looked exactly like Kiwi. In this dream, she was my friend, and I was introducing her to my boyfriend. In the dream, they were getting along very well, which left me feeling uncomfortable, and I woke up shaken. I shrugged it off as a strange dream. Later, I checked Kiwi's Instagram again, and to my dismay, saw that my boyfriend had liked her recent photo that he hadn't liked initially, suggesting that after our discussion, he saw her photo on his feed and decided to engage with it. For some context, my boyfriend rarely likes Instagram photos. He hardly likes anything at all, whether it's his friends' posts joking around or even my pictures unless I tag him. The fact that he chose to like her photo, especially after our conversation, hit me hard. I became furious, convincing myself that he must still have feelings for her. I felt embarrassed and overwhelmed, experiencing the familiar emotions of being cheated on. He unexpectedly found me hyperventilating and crying while I was in a meeting for work. Once I approached him, very much heated and ready to express my frustrations. I mentioned how exhausted I was from his inconsistent behavior toward me, especially given the rough weekend I had. I told him about the dream I had regarding Kiwi, and the fact that I saw he had liked her photo even after our recent discussion. He initially responded that it was a crazy coincidence, which, to be fair, I was indeed heated, so my reaction was extreme, and that only added to my frustration. He explained that it was merely a like. He hadn't seen a post from her in a long time and thought, "Oh, Kiwi," and decided to engage. He acknowledged that he did like it even after our talk. He assured me that he doesn't communicate with her anymore, showing me their last Snapchat conversation from 2021. Seeing that made it seem like he might have been ghosted by her, and that it appeared he was the one with feelings. Regardless, I still felt extraordinarily uncomfortable. I do not follow my exes, nor do I keep tabs on situationships I deeply cared for, and I certainly do not follow anyone I have previously discussed. I told him that if he were troubled by any man I happened to follow, I would respect his feelings and remove them. He then asked if I wanted him to unfollow Kiwi. I hesitated, not wanting to appear controlling. We sat together in silence for about 5 minutes as I contemplated my response. I ultimately agreed and said yes, asking him to please unfollow her. I didn't request that he remove her on Snapchat or block her. I simply wanted him to unfollow her so she would be out of sight and out of mind. We both ended up laughing about the situation, and he reassured me that he had only encountered her around 6 times in total. That still feels wild to me. How can you talk about someone so much when you've hardly spent any time with her? You clearly had strong feelings. He reiterated that he loved me. To summarize, while we thought we resolved the issue, I am still grappling with the unease of having needed to discuss another girl with him. Kiwi has done nothing wrong. The discomfort stems from his behavior. I've never had to ask a partner to unfollow someone in my life, so I feel bad about that. Although I feel guilty for having him unfollow her, part of me is glad I stood up for my feelings about something that has been bothering me.